Hello everyone, welcome to A Foreigner Farming in the Philippines. Well, I came down late here to see what's been going on. I don't come down here, not even every day now since I've been sick. But they've planted more peppers here, some replants. And the peppers that are established, look at that. Look at those little bell peppers. That makes me pretty happy. It's a struggle to get bell peppers to do well here. Those chili peppers, those there, and they're prolific, and you just don't have to hardly touch them. And they grow a lot of peppers, but these bell peppers, they're touchy. We're starting to take out the peach eye and replace that with peppers. The peach eye, Marcel wanted to raise some, but at 5 pesos a bunch, I kind of poo-pooed the idea of raising any more. It's just not worth it. Left in that row there's 25-30 pesos worth of peach eye. It's just not it's not worth the water, let alone the time and the effort to grow it. Now for personal use, sure, we've got some up by the house growing, but as a commercial crop, nah. Not at 5 pesos a bundle or a bunch. It's just not feasible. Well, this corn, we fertilized it about 10 days ago, and it's just taken off. The Amplia here is doing well. This corn, I was always a little bit nervous about the corn, because one time when we went to town, we couldn't sell it. We only had like 20 years, but nobody that particular day was wanting to buy it. But since then, word has gotten out here locally, and we've had 3 different people, even though we occasionally go and sell it, we've had 3 different people come and buy corn directly off the farm. Generally, what is grown here is the field corn, and not sweet corn like what we're raising here. And of course, we're selling it a lot cheaper than what I had wanted to. We're selling it for about 1/5 the price that they're selling it for in Alturas. They were selling it for 50 pesos per kilo. And I put my foot down and said, it's 60 pesos per kilo, and if we can't get 60 pesos per kilo, we'll put it in the freezer because we'll eat it. But we haven't had any kind of pushback at the 60 pesos per kilo. And it takes about, let's see, it takes about 3 to 4 ears of corn to weigh a kilo. So we're getting about 15 pesos per kilo per ear, 30 cents per ear. Close enough. It's fairly. Once you know what is needed to grow corn here, it's pretty easy. And basically, what you need to know is that you got to fertilize the crap out of it. You got to really hit it with the nitrogen. And if you do, it'll do well. And if you don't, you have stunted little plants and tiny little ears of corn. But we've got that part of it figured out now. These beans here, the beans next to that corn that we had harvested is just about done. Probably be pulling those plants out in a couple of weeks. And as it turns out, this is going to be coming on just right. These beans here will be starting to harvest these in about 2 weeks. So it's gonna we'll have a continuous supply of beans, and that was one of my things, is that I wanted a continuous supply. We're gonna have to hire back Ippy. We had laid Ippy off for a while. We're gonna have to find the money somewhere to hire her back, because Consing and Jen just cannot keep up with these weeds. Well, they could probably keep up with the weeds, but they can't keep up with the weeds and the new planting. And we're still doing new planting, and we're almost always going to be doing planting. This needs to be weeded. There's pepper plants back in there that you can't really see because of the weeds. The eggplant is doing well enough to where you can easily see it. It grows faster than the weeds. But the peppers, not so much. So we really need to get up to speed on the weeding. And no, I'm not going to use Roundup or anything close to that on these vegetables. This is going to be, I'm going to try to talk the girls into using a hoe, because it's so much faster. They like to do it with they've got a small lady-sized bolo that they kind of chop and dig with, and that's how they take the weeds out. But I'm going to try to get them to use a hoe and just go along the sides here and do it that way. Wish me luck on that. I don't even have high hopes myself. Excuse me. These melons here, they continue to do okay. They need to be weeded as well. The tomatoes back in there are doing great. I didn't even mention the tomatoes up there. They're loaded down. We're getting a lot of tomatoes of late. It's going really well. I'm pleased. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of onions that we basically transplanted here. They came from 3 rows that were up there. Basically just separated the plants. As these onions grow, it's like they multiply. They're called multipliers here. I would call them scallions or spring onions, but here they call them multipliers because they multiply. In 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks, all these here, you get about 3 to 1. Whatever you plant, 8 weeks later, you get 3 times that much. So you can do like we're doing, because these are 150 pesos a kilo. And the first bunch we bought, I spent almost 1,000 pesos on onions to get started. Now, we planted some of those up by the house, and that's what we planted over there. And we bought some more off of Gina, and we planted those over there. But at 150 pesos a kilo, the onions are probably going to be one of the highest peso per kilo crops that we're going to have here. Weight, volume, and weight-wise, probably not the most prolific overall, but it's easy. And onions are easy. The insects don't like them. Haven't had any kind of disease problems at all. As long as the soil is a little bit loose and you fertilize them and you keep them wet, you got onions. Almost all of this field here is tomatoes. Well, a good 2/3 of it. And then the eggplant starts again here. We've planted so much eggplant, it's probably 40% of everything that we've planted has turned out to be eggplant, because we have less than no problem in selling it. It's so easy to sell. Everyone here likes eggplant, and we get a decent enough price for it. I'm going to have to sneak down here, I think. Well, I'm going to have to keep this a secret from Maricel. Look, I'm going to need to water in about 3 days if it doesn't rain. And this dam here has to be completed. Nerio, God bless him, he did most of it, and he did the hard part. He got these weeds and stuff all knocked down. And so he got about, I don't know, 30 feet of it done there, and he stopped there. But he's got this all cleaned out. And he did everything on the other side of that canal almost high enough, I think. We'll see. I won't really know until I irrigate the first time. I really need to get this last 30 feet or so done here. Look, I don't want to be sick again either. I want to get better, all the way better. But at some point, this is going to have to be done. I need to get a pipe in here and get it buried as a drain. And just the way things worked out, this needed to be weeded when it was planted. So we do need another pair of hands here to get caught up with the weeds. Well, you can never get caught up with the weeds, but to get a little bit less behind. So we've got, and no, I have not felt good enough to come down and finish these furrows. We've got 2 full ones left here to plant something in, and then a partial one. Yeah, this last little bit of a field here needs to be finished, but you know, Tatai doesn't feel well. I'm still nowhere near 100%. I am getting better though, but I'm not. It's half that I want to get all the way better before I get down here and start dancing with a shovel again, and the other half is that I'm scared of Maricel. I don't want to imagine what would happen if she caught me down here with a shovel. So I have to have a lengthy conversation with her when I do get to feeling like I can start working on this farm again. Aces in their places. Look, I can do the shovel work. It's the weeding and stuff actually that, because of my back and my knees, you know, I'm not that low to the ground like these girls are. They can do that weeding. It's not hard work. It's just monotonous, and you got to keep at it. I would much rather do the shovel. So this first little field here, all the weeding is complete. They've worked hard on it these last couple days, and the replanting is going good as well. I think we have enough peppers to finish this up. I don't know if they got all of this row transplanted or not. Go back up through here and check. No, these last few here, the last 6 or 8 feet or so, you can see what they do. So this would be something to plant, and that would be something to plant, and there's one behind it. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 on this one. So there's not enough here to complete another row. I'm sure that's why they stopped. And the sunflowers, those are the sunflowers back in there. We've got a perimeter of sunflowers, and they seem to be doing okay. You know, we had a couple days of rain, And voila, there's the blight back again on a third of these plants, on a third of these tomato plants. It's just, can't catch a break. It rained all night before last, and some that day, and some the night before that. And it only takes 2 days in a row of rain to where then you've got a problem. But these tomatoes are actually doing pretty good. They're of a decent size. They're prolific. You can just look at the tomatoes on them. Just keeping the blight out of them is the major issue. So yeah, I'm gonna, if it doesn't rain, and I'm actually hoping it does not rain, because I would much rather water this stuff with that fish water than rainwater. But, you know, I'm not going to waste the water out of the pond. I'm not going to water if it has already rained. It is what it is, though. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.